10,000 dead fish and prison. What a name for a video, huh? 10,000 dead fish in prison? What's that all about? Well, it's about me trying to get your attention. But that's chapter 2 in my book, Ruthless Marketing Attack. This is the hardbound edition. I will send you this book absolutely free, the digital version, just for going to my website at heytj.com. That's HEYTJ.com. And in chapter 2 of this book, you got to request it by name. I've got 63 books, so that'll let me know that you saw this video and that you want this book. Ruthless Marketing Attack is the name of the book. And it's one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book. It's not my bestseller, but it is my favorite book. In chapter number 2, I tell you the story of 10,000 dead fish and prison, and the two men who became my greatest models and mentors, or a couple of my greatest models and mentors, because I've had probably a dozen strong mentors or models that have influenced me in a great way. Well, the story of 2 of those guys are in this book. I'll tell you the story briefly. My best friend Gary, at the time, he was also my first business partner. He did something really stupid. You can't make this up. Gary was not a stupid guy. He was very street smart, one of the most street smart people I know. And he used to fish at this dam over on Sand Creek. It was I'm not making this up. There was a rubber dam at the end of the creek. Why somebody created a rubber dam is beyond me, because the current dam that's on there that is not made of rubber. But there was a little hole in it. They would fish at the end of the dam, where sometimes the fish would spill over on the other side. But there was a hole in this rubber, and every once in a while, fish would pop out of this hole. I'm not making this up. I never saw it happen, but I'm not a fisherman. Enough of my friends used to fish there, it is a true story. The hole was already there. What Gary did, he said, hey, look, let's cut the hole, make it a little bit bigger, and then we'll sit there with our net, and more fish will come out. Well, he cut it, made the hole bigger. I don't know if more fish came out, but what I do know is the dam collapsed. Ultimately, thousands of fish died in Sand Creek in Newton, Kansas. This was around early 1980s, mid-1980s. Thousands of fish died. I don't know if there were 10,000 or not, but it's good. For the sake of my story, let's go with 10,000. And if Gary would have just went to the police station immediately and said, look, this was an accident, was a stupid thing, I wasn't even trying to commit vandalism, I was just trying to make the hole bigger. But as it is, he didn't do that, and long story short, he told enough people who told enough people who told enough people, and then 9 months later, and this cost the city God knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a new dam, but Gary ends up in prison for over a year. Well, after he got out of prison, I was working as a carpet cleaner for another gentleman, and I talk about it in chapter 2 of this book. Gary gets out of prison. By the way, I was only one of maybe 2 people that went and visited him while he was in prison. So think about that. And Gary's not a criminal. He never belonged in prison. It was a stupid thing. If he would have gone to the cops immediately and just said, look, I'm going to turn myself in, I didn't mean to do this, they would have slapped him on the hands and given him, probation or something like that. As it is, he had to spend over a year in prison. So when he got out, I was cleaning carpets for another gentleman who you'll meet in this book. And Gary got the idea of he said, let's start our own carpet cleaning business, fresh out of prison. And looking back at it, he was trying to make up for lost time, but we didn't have any money. I was making money, but I was spending it as fast as I was making it. And I was using this guy's van, this guy's carpet cleaning equipment. I didn't have my own vehicle even. But with no money, no equipment, no vehicle, but with a very determined man who was trying to make up for a lot of lost time, we managed to start our own carpet and upholstery cleaning business, and I tell you the whole story in this chapter. And 9 months later, we had 2 vans, we had 2 sets of equipment, and then because Gary and I had personal problems, he took 1 set of equipment in 1 van, I took the other. I kept the company name. He moved to another area, and we parted ways. But there's some valuable lessons in that chapter about somebody like Gary who's absolutely determined to make something happen. And even though he had no money and he didn't even know how to clean carpets, I had to teach him how to do that. But the other gentleman that I was working for, he had everything. He had a lot of money. This was his van I was using. It was his carpet cleaning equipment. And yet that van was just sitting. Before I worked out a deal with him, it was sitting more often than not. I worked out a deal with him, and I went out and hustled my own jobs. I had been, well, I tell you the whole story in there in chapter 2. Get the book, please. Get the book. It's one of my greatest stories. It's in Ruthless Marketing Attack, and it's proof that it does not take a lot of money to make a lot of money. That's what this chapter in this book will teach you more than anything. Look, I'm always looking for good joint venture business partners. That's why I'm happy to give you this free book. I'll also include information on some of the deals that I'm doing. We can make money together, potentially. Reach out to me at heytj.com. That's HEYTJ.com. Or send me an email at tickets@heytj.com. Ask me for the book, Ruthless Marketing Attack, and I'll include information about some of the projects I'm working on. And then you can read this great story in chapter 2. It's the difference between these 2 guys. One man fresh out of prison, not a criminal in any traditional sense of the word, but definitely somebody that really screwed up and made a terrible mistake, ended up killing 10,000 fish, and ended up costing the city of Newton, Kansas, God knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars. But also the story of no money, fresh out of prison, didn't even know how to clean carpets, and yet I was doing it. And in fact, that's the time I went and visited him while he was in prison. I was on my way back from a 2-week training program that this other gentleman sent me to on his dime. He sent me to this 2-week training program, and I was on my way back. That's when I went and visited Gary in prison. A few months later, Gary got out of prison. I guess he had time to think about all of this, because when I visited him in prison, I was telling him how excited I was about the carpet cleaning business. And look, that business led me to my next business after that made me thanks to my wife, Eileen, and Russ Von Holscher and Dan Kennedy and a few other people, that business ended up making me millions of dollars. But it's a great story, one of the greatest entrepreneurial stories I have. Get it in my book. Reach out to me, please, heytj.com. I hope you enjoyed something in this video, and I know you'll enjoy chapter 2 of that book, Ruthless Marketing Attack. Let me give you that book for free. Or hell, you can go on Amazon and just buy the hardcover if you want. You could do that too if you want. Thank you, and bye for now.